Hi guys, I'm Najwa and today I will review my favorite movie. And the movie is Harbour. So this movie is one of the best war movies I've ever known. And this movie was released in 2001 and I was not even born in the world. But this movie is still liked by many people now. This is a war movie wrapped in a very beautiful romance and friendship story. Directed by Michael Bay and starring by a line of famous actors and actresses at that time, such as Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, Kate Beckinsale, and many more. This movie is based on the true story of Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, and this movie is about two people who have been friends since childhood, Rafe and Danny, who both dream of becoming pilots, and their dream finally came true. Both of them managed to become fighters pilots when World War II began. And they met a beautiful nurse who was in charge of checking hearts before joining an Eagle soldier. Her name is Evelyn. And Rafe and Evelyn eventually become lovers. Unfortunately, Rafe had to leave Evelyn to go to war in England, but while fighting, Rafe's plane was shot and fell into the sea, and Rafe was declared dead. Of course, Evelyn and Danny were deeply sad, and however, life must go on, and Danny helps Evelyn to get through her difficult time and forget about Rafe, until finally Danny and Evelyn fall in love and become lovers. And when Evelyn realized that she was pregnant with Danny's child, Rafe is back and still alive. He managed to survive the plane crash, and Evelyn was, of course, she was surprised to find out that the lover she loved so much was still alive. And of course, conflict appeared between these three people, Rafe, Danny, and Evelyn. And Rafe feels betrayed, meanwhile Danny and Evelyn are still both in shock when they learn the fact that Rafe is still alive among them. The day after Rafe returned, the Japanese attacked the United States by bombarding Pearl Harbor. Rafe and Danny must forget their trouble for a while and join forces with their commanders to wipe out the Japanese army. The Japanese attack made the United States helpless, and we can say that Japan woke up a sleeping lion. They were also assigned to bomb Tokyo, which could be considered a very difficult task and very threatening to the life of the soldiers, but they still carry out this task to avenge the Japanese crime. This movie is also filled with several comedies that make the audience less tense. And this movie made me very sad because my favorite character is died. That scene may become my favorite scenes as long as I watch this film. And the scene is very sad, of course, because the action of the actor and actors is very good. After finishing this movie, I felt empty and very sad, and it's really hard for me to move on from this movie because it's really good, and I can rate this film 10 out of 10. And the moral message in this film is also very confident. This film teaches us to keep fighting and be brave. This film also teaches loyalty, self-sacrifice, and beauty of friendship. So don't forget to watch this movie because it's so worth watching. Bye bye.
你 didn't made it to 2 o'clock. You crazy dog. I'm a pilot.
How long is America going to pretend The world is not at war. From Berlin, Rome, and Tokyo, we have been described as a nation of weaklings and playboys who hire British or Russian or Chinese soldiers to do our fighting for us.
I'm going to the war.
Just make sure and come back for the both of us, all right?
We've been trained to think we're invincible. But our people think Hitler and his Nazi thugs are Europe's problem. We have to do more. Does anyone think that victory is possible without facing danger? In times like these, we all need to be reminded who we truly are.
Warning of Japanese aggressive movement.
That we will not give up. December 7th.
1941.
A date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by the Empire of Japan.
We are at war.
Tell that to the soldiers who today are hitting hard in the far waters of the Pacific. Tell that to the boys in the flying fortresses. Tell that to the Marines.